So hi again, everyone. I would like to apologize for last week. Here in Europe, we're actually still in winter time. So until last week, I wasn't aware that the time is changed differently all over the world. So that's something that I learned last week. But this week, we're here on time. And this is our agenda for today. So we will start with a step-by-step project transformation. So I will show you a finished project and then we will recreate it together. So like I will guide you step by step and I will tell you how I do it and from which steps I will begin and so on and so forth. Best practices for realistic makeovers. So like I will show you how to add lighting, how to work with materials, layouts as well. Then we will go and we will do a render. So we will see the space before and after the render. And during the process, I might talk about some techniques to make your project stand out a bit more. So we have two spaces. We have a master bedroom. We have a master bedroom and we have a powder room. Does any of you have any preference? This one is like a more darker, moody. This one is more contemporary with like a marble accents. Do you have any preference? Will we go with the master bedroom or the powder room? Master bedroom. Okay. So we'll go with the master bedroom. So let me go to 2D first. So this is the project in 2D, as you can see it. And now we will recreate that. So I will just guide you step by step how well, not guide you, I will show you step by step how I create it. First of all, before I start to create any project, like if I have, for example, like if I have a client and we went through the brief and like, he, I know what they want and I have, for example, like colors chosen, etc., and like the style that we're going for, then it's easier. But when I'm, well, maybe not always easier, but then like, like I know what I'm doing from the get-go. If I'm designing a space for any other reasons, like, just for inspirations or even for the videos that I'm sometimes creating for you, then like I will always have a space in mind and sometimes like I will know exactly what I will do, but sometimes when I start adding furniture, then as the project progress, then more ideas come to my head, and it's just like going step by step, and then the full space is done. But let's say that like most of you are interior designers, so we will go from interior designer perspective. So let's say that you already have a style that your clients want to go for. Maybe you need to show them like a few ideas of the space and layouts, etc. So for me, first, what I do is to, of course, I will create a shape for the room. So I will go with either a room tool, or a wall tool, and I will simply create that. And now I will go to catalog and I will start searching for items that I want to use in my project. I will leave the textures for the last step. So when I go to 3D, so the textures and like decorative pieces, or like the staging. But first in 2D, I will start designing my space. If you know where your windows and doors are, then that's the step to put them in. So then when you're working with your space, you already know where is the window, where are the doors, and you can simply play around it. So let me just, I will just go to edit and I will show you information. So that's the window that I used. I'll just copy the link. You're able to do that. So you can go to information and simply copy the link and see if you, for example, if you didn't add it to your shortlist, then that's the way how you can find a product. So let me just, we will quickly put window and door in place. And then I will just go through the catalog and search for other items. Now these are the door. And again, I'll just show you which ones are used. So these are the sliding doors that I used. Items that I like, I will always click on that little heart and just add them into my shortlist. And then as I go, I can, I can choose if I like this, let's say bed or the other one. But like sometimes I will be let's say that from the beginning I will know that like that I'm using this bed, but sometimes it's not as easy. So like I will try two or three different beds and see which one I like best. Remember that all the textures and colors, they can be changed after, so you don't need to worry about that. Look more for a style of furniture that you will be using, not for like color. The same with the bedding. You can cover the bedding, you can add more like cushions or throws, etc. Into the space. So yeah, so like don't pay too much attention to it. So first I always start with the biggest items. So in this particular case of a master bedroom, I will start with bed. So as usual, I will type in bed and I will start looking for the one that I like. Here we have some subcategories, so like we can click on them just to narrow our search a bit. Just let me find the one that I'm using so I'm not copying all the items. Maybe the best will be if I just click on it. So this is the bed I used. So I'll just put it somewhere in the space. The same with bedside tables. I'll see if I have them. Yeah, so these are my bedside tables. So I'll just drop one first, then I will resize it and I will simply clone it because I'm using both the same ones. Now, for the light, we can switch to ceiling plan mode and we can apply the light. As you can see, I applied the light not very central in the room because I applied it more in the bed area. Then here we have like a large window, so we have loads of natural light, and we will have a floor lamp here as well. So that will be more like lounge area, like like more like a relaxing, maybe reading corner. So I wanted the light to be centered with the bed more. Of course, you can put it in the center of the room. That's a very common practice, but like now we can we can literally move them around, and like they don't need to be centered, especially if the room has more areas, like like if we have, let's say, like a sleeping area and then we have like a lounging or relaxing area, then the main light doesn't have to be centered. So let's go to the shortlist and I will simply drop my light, then I can move it a bit, but we will just drop it for now just to have it done. Okay, now I will add my chairs. So as you can see, like I'm trying to create my layouts in 2D. And then when I switch to 3D, I will start working with textures, with like adding more details to, and then like, just using techniques like I'm using the create new product tool to make it more customized. and more high end. And so like, for more high end, then of course that will be the use of textures that we'll have in our project, and of course um, the use of all the materials and together with the matching furniture and matching furniture textures. Now, most of items, as we know, they can be custom made. So so we can, like, when we are adding, let's say we have a bed and then we have chairs, they can be in different colors, but we can also match them. And especially if they will be custom made, then we know that that's something that we can do, and that's something that is possible to deliver then to a client. So now we can rotate it just a bit. And now I will simply clone it. Sorry, clone it and paste it on the other side. And also we will rotate it. Then we have our table to go in the middle. I will resize it then because this one is too small. So we will resize it. We can do it either now or we can go to 3D and see how everything looks up to scale, and then start to resize all the items. And now we have the rug as well. Let me just clone this one just to save a bit of time. The rug, of course, like I took the rug from our catalog and then I simply resized it to be the size that I need for my project. Now the wardrobes, we have a full wall of wardrobes. So we will just add a wardrobe. Okay, so this is the one that I used. So we'll just put it here and then we will resize it. It will go throughout the full wall. So we can go here. We will flip it so it's the other way around. And now we can simply resize it. You can, as you can see, like you can type in a measurement. So you're making sure that it's the size that you want it to be. And now we will simply move it and we're done. So most of the bigger items, we have them here. We can also go with the floor lamp. I didn't save it, so I will just go through. I don't want to copy all of them because I was changing textures to most of them. So like I want to show you that process as well. So, okay, so we have our floor lamp here, and now we will switch to 3D and we start working with the textures, and we'll see how the layout looks when we are in 3D. So, okay, so we are here now. As you can see, we have a door, we have a window, we have our bed and the wardrobe. So we have all of the big items in. Now, what I will do first, I will create this wall here. So this one is created with the Create New Product tool. So I will create that, and then we will move the bed, and we will put the bedside table where they're supposed to be. So first, what I will do, I will double click on this wall, and with the Create New Product tool, I will trace over the entire wall. Now we will give it some depth. It doesn't have to be very deep, but we need some depth so it's actually sticking out, like the arches are actually sticking out. Then when we get rid of whatever we will have behind our arches. Now I will switch off the environment. It will be a bit easier. And I will just use my ruler tool to make sure that all my arches are the same size. So we have the length of the wall. So I will divide it in half, and then I will also divide this in half. So we have 4 equal parts, as we will create 4 arches. This wall is quite long, so we will do 4. If you have a shorter one, then you will be fine with 2 or even 3. And now again, I will use the roller tool to make spaces from the walls and in between my arches. So just to make sure that they are spaced out correctly, and all of them, they have the same space in between each other. On this side. And now from this side, we can go from this side and see what height of the arches will do. Okay, let me go back and see what is my wall height. Here is 2.6. Okay, so we need to go down to 2.6 because it felt a bit too long. So I will just edit this one now before we continue to do anything else. We will just change the height and bring it down, and now to modify. Okay, so we have that. Now I will again use the ruler and I will just create a line for the height of my arches. Now I will use the rectangle tool, as you all know how to create that, and we will just trace over these 4 rectangles, and we will create the arches in a second. 3 and 4. When you have an idea in mind and you have your all your furniture in place, then the project, if it's only one room, then you can do it really fast. So, and now we will take the arc tool, and we'll just go from here up to here, and again from here up to here. So it will find a midpoint by itself. So the blue circle is a midpoint. And now we can go with the trim tool. We can trim away all these lines here. And now simply go with the push and pull and remove this big part, and now these smaller parts. So we just highlight them and then bring them down and just click, click, click. It's good to be on an angle when you're working with the push and pull. So then, because then you know what you're doing, if you're pulling it out or pushing it in. So now we will use the offset and we will offset them. All of them the same offset, of course. And now I will push them in just a bit. So we have the frame. Okay, now we just click on done. And if you feel that they are too deep, then you can simply resize them and make them, you know, just resize them and do whichever size you want. So now we will start working with the textures. I will just move that and I will move it here. Now this bed, we will move it more centered into this one, as this area I will leave for our, like for the lounge area. So we can go to edit and we can see if we want to resize the bed. Okay, so we have the bed here. And now I will go to my bedside table and I will resize my bedside table. So I know what size I want to have. So I just simply resize it. Then again, if you know the sizes of furniture that you're using, then like you will just put like a physical sizes. Then if not, then you can just simply um eyeball them and just like make them to match the scale of the room, the scale of other furnitures. Okay, so we have it here. We'll just move it a bit closer. So we have two the same coffee tables. And now we can start either with the colors of the walls or we can start with other textures. I will start with color of my walls. So I will do them more like a beigey color. Okay, we have the desert beige. So I'll just drop it to one wall. And then I will use the copy texture tool, texture material, click on the texture that you want to copy, and I will move it to the rest of the walls. We don't have to worry about this one as this one is full of wardrobes. Now I will resize my wardrobe. So I'll go to resize tool and simply resize it. And I will change the texture of my wardrobe here as well. Like I will leave the texture here and I will leave it on the frame, but the overall frame, I will make it a bit darker. So you can use either your own textures or you can go to our texture catalog and I will just type in walnuts. We can go through furniture and see which one we like best. Okay, I like this dark one, so I'll just simply drop it here. And to match, I will apply the same texture on the frames of our arches. So I will just drop it to one. And now I will use the copy texture tool and I will move it to the other ones. I made them on a full wall just to, for me it was quicker, but you can create one arch and then simply use the guidelines and just clone it. So like do one and then simply clone it. So then when you will be applying textures, you can just apply like one texture then. Where now I just have to go through each of them. With the small ones, it's always better to zoom in just a bit more so you know what you're doing. When placing the cursor, you just need to make sure that the tip of that cursor is on the space that you want to move the texture to. Okay, we're nearly there. One and the last one. Okay, so we have that. Now I will change the flooring because I don't like the one that is added here. So we just simply go to texture, floor, go with wood subcategory just to find it a bit quicker. And now I will drop the floor. Now we have to edit it. So I will do it on 45 degrees. So it goes this way. And now I will change it through texture, size, and we are done. Now my coffee tables, what I did with the coffee tables, I actually used the same texture that is on the wardrobe for my front drawers. So we will use this one and we'll put it on the front drawers. And I also used it on my lamp. And now for the rest of my bedside tables, I use the same dark color that I have on my wardrobe. So we simply click here, and now we click here. And because we cloned the bedside tables, that the texture went to both of them. Now the bed, I dropped the same texture on the bed, but I made it a bit darker. So what I did, you can click wherever you will drop a texture and you just want to make it darker or change a bit a color, like a hues of the texture, then you can simply click on select color. From here, you can choose the color hues as well. And now you just simply move it and you just see if you want to make it darker or lighter, and you can simply leave it at that, and that color will be saved here. So if you want to change something else to that color, then it will be here, and then you can use it. Now for my bedding, like I don't like the color of the bedding as well, so I will just go with beige and click on fabric, and I will choose a fabric. So I think I used this one. And now again, copy texture to match it. It looks more, it looks simple and like a nice and minimalistic. So can do it this way. Can move the lamp a bit. And then we can go to 3D and use the ruler tool and make sure that it's in the spot that we want it to. Now for, okay, we have the chairs. They are fine. What do we need to do? We just have to resize this fella here. So let's make it like a bit bigger. It's a big room, so we can have a bit of a bigger table. Now, when I want to see my layouts from the top, I will just click on the reset button and I can see how everything looks. Now I need to move that a bit. Okay, I will move my rug just a bit. Great. And now I will apply texture on my arches. This texture I uploaded by myself, so it's my texture. So I will just go to upload it. If you want to upload texture, then you simply click on upload texture, go to upload now, choose a texture from your files, and then just click on open. So here we have uploaded. Okay, let me upload it again. Oh yeah, it's here. Okay. So I just drop it in one. And then again, I will use the copy texture tool and just move it to the other ones. I will also do my table in the same marble. Like all of that will have to be custom made anyway. So it would be nice if that coffee table matches our arches here. Now, wall light, we can do table lamps on the bedside tables, but I went for wall lights, and the wall lights that I used, there were these ones here. Now I will drop one. And now I will drop it on the other side. I will check the height, 0, 2, 1, 3. -0, 2, 1, 3. So y, that's the distance from, that's the position from the floor of your item. So if you have two or more items, then you can make sure that they are in the right position. We'll drop them just a bit. Okay. Now we will put some accessories on our coffee tables and some flowers, and then we're basically done. I also changed the texture of the lamp. So I used the same material that is here and covered this part. And then I went for black material and change the leg as well. So now let me go back to the finished space. And before we go into renders, I will see if you have any questions about any of the steps. Do you have any questions about any of the steps? Okay, if not, then we can go to creating renders. So before I click on take render, I always try to set my angles just approximately in 3D. I just feel that it's a bit easier to move around. And so let me go with this one here, because now we will actually see this project. So I will just quickly move this stuff that we have here on the coffee tables. I'll just group them and move them. And then we can go through the process. We have it here. Put it here. And now the other bedside table. I will again try to group them. Okay, have them grouped. Now clone. And just move them here. And just this. As you can see, when you're placing objects like books or any other decorative pieces, then they tend to snap on the shelves or on the bedside tables, on coffee tables. So like they're just not going straight on the floor. You can actually space them nicely and place them on any object. Okay, so now let me just click here. Oh yeah, I will show you just how I spaced out the lamp. So if we go to ceiling plan mode, like I have my light here, if I want to make sure that I have it right in the area that I have my bed, then I will simply use my ruler I will go from a corner of the bed. Let's say that this is like a midpoint and approximately somewhere here. And now when we switch to ceiling plan mode, like we have the ruler in place, so we can see if we're where we want to be. Okay. And now again to 3D mode. I'll just double click on that wall here. Now we won't be doing any renders from this direction up to the glass door, but if you will have a glass door in your room and you're designing only one room, that I would recommend to add a small room from this side, just a small one, and just apply a paint color or a wallpaper on the wall. So if when you will be doing a render, no environment will be visible through that glass windows or doors that you will have in your space. I'll just move it slightly here. Okay. So again, I'll just reset it and double click on any of the walls. So let's say that we'll do something like that. And now I will simply click on take a render. If we have a wall in front of us, so for example, if we want to do a render from this side, like to see into the room from door direction, then you can go as far as your door or the wall. And now with the clip view, you can move clip view ever so slightly, and the clip view will take you through the wall. It will leave the wall or the door behind you. So like we're not deleting it, we're not letting the environment, so like, you know, all the natural light in. It is there. So don't use the hide tool for your walls. If you will use a hide tool for your walls, then that wall is disappearing and your room is flooded with the natural light. If you need that, then that's fine. Like, you know, if it's, let's say, a dark space and you just need more natural light, then okay, you can hide the wall. But if not, then use the clip view. The clip view is like going through a wall like a ghost. So the wall is still behind you. You just like going through it. And if you have any reflective object on opposite wall, then everything that is behind you will be visible in that space. So now we can go with the field of view. I always try to zoom in just slightly. The more you zoom in, the more realistic the angle will be. Now, to move it up and down, you can use the camera height or simply a pan tool and just move it up and down. It's a bit easier because it doesn't go sideways. With the pan tool, you only go up and down and left to right. So like, you know, it won't rotate. Now we can go to lighting and product lighting, and you can start adding or all your lights. I will switch to the one that I have already because I already added them, and that's why I cannot do it anymore. So if you go to light and product lighting, as you can see, you can just simply click on the lights and they are added into your project. Now you can choose which light to be on, which one to be off. So let's say that we'll do our lights on. And if you're happy with the settings and set your environment and your presets, then do the preview. When you do the preview and you're happy with the preview, then save your view. Because if you save your view and go back to 2D or 3D and make some changes, then you can go back to rendering and just click the view that you set before, and that will be open with all the settings, and you just hit on take render and you're done. So for example, now, like I have my view saved, so you can either save it here, or then when you will change a view, you can click on save as new view and just give it a new name. Because otherwise you will rewrite. If you will click on save view on your previously saved view, then you will just rewrite it. So you need to save it as a new view. So now, for example, if I will go back and even to 2D, and I will delete this space so it's not in my way when I'm doing renders. So now if I will go take render, view number one, and I'm already here. So I have everything set, and now I just click on take render. I will go with the 4K just to make it faster. And in the meantime, I can show you the 12K that I did before. I'll just see if you can see it. Okay, so that's the finished space. As you can see, the textures, like they in 3D, they look a bit blurry. Then when you do the render, they're not blurry. We have like more shiny floors, so you can see like the gloss on the floor and the texture on the rug. So this one is 12K, and we have a reflection in the window as we usually will. So like you can see the door that is behind me. Yeah, so that's the 12K resolution render done. Now let me reshare the project again. And I think I have another view here from the other direction. Okay. Is it this one? This one. So as you could see, like we did a full project in less than half an hour. So it is doable. It's just like, sometimes you just have to be be prepared. So this is from the other side. If like, if you're looking at the render and you're thinking, okay, like this light is like it's sticking out too much or things like that, that you can still go back and change it. And that's why like, that's why the previews are so useful. So like with the previews, you're not wasting any rendering credits, and you can actually see if everything works. Like, sometimes we think that we have items sticked on the surface, and then it turns out that they're actually not. So yeah, so the previews are a way to go. So I always recommend to do previews first. Okay, do we have any questions or maybe any tips that you want to share? Um, Anything at all? How do you drape blankets? Well, the blankets, they're already draped. So if you go to catalog and our staging catalog, and here we have textile and rugs. So we have cushion, pillows, bolsters, and blankets, throws. So like if you will choose like a draped blanket, then your blanket will be draped already. So like, we don't do that. It's just how they were uploaded into the software. And so like, if you need a draped one, you can use a draped one. If you need like more that is like a throne on the bed, then you can use a throne. How do you flip an item? So to flip an item, we go to item edit. So I'm just trying to find some example of something that can be flipped so you can see the difference. Um, so basically we go to edit, and here we have a flip. So like, like with this one, we can see if it's flipped or not. Maybe this one will change position if we will flip it. Yeah, so as you can see, we flipped it left to right, and this one is more like front and back. So from here, we can flip items. So you just click on an item, go to edit, and on your right-hand side, the properties will open. And from here, you can flip items. You're welcome. You're always welcome, Cindy. When you're designing, if does it take a lot of time for you, or when you have like everything in your mind and you know how the project goes, like do you have any troubles with like designing the spaces, or maybe with something that it's like it's not working for you in a software the way you would like it to, or maybe you think that you're doing something wrong. If you have any questions about it, I might try and answer them. But like, for um elevating your projects a bit more, then I think texture is the key. Texture is the key because like, if you're applying right textures, then even from like simple um furniture, you can like take them to a next level. The same with applying, like even if in that powder room, like it could be just simple powder room with like just plain walls, but because of adding murals on all the walls and the ceiling, like having a small room, they don't have to be boring. I think in small rooms, if they are guest rooms or if they are powder rooms, I think we actually can go a bit crazy. But like thanks to that, we can create like a wow factor. So like even such a small space as a powder room can be can make such an effect um, when you're entering it. Sometimes the wall disappears when I'm panning the room. But does it appear later? Maybe it just disappears like when you're in 2D or 3D. I have a problem with doorways in 3D. So the wall disappearing in 3D, it's because like when you go on an angle, even for example like now, then the wall that you're facing, that wall will always disappear. So like if you were even with the pan tool, if you move it a bit higher, then it will disappear. Then like if you will move it any other direction, does it appear again, or is just completely gone? It appears again, yeah. So it's just the auto hide wall. So like whatever you're facing into the room, then the wall that you're facing is just disappearing to allow you to look inside your project. And Douglas, yeah, like I notice people have problems with that, and I actually don't know why why is it happening? Like it never happened to me that I placed my door and then I like like I closed the project, and then when I reopen it they were like all over the place. Do you placing your doors in 2D or 3D? Maybe like maybe try to play, if you're placing them in 3D, maybe try to place them in 2D. So you're, because when you're placing them in 2D they're automatically snapped on the floor. Yeah, so try to place them in 2D. If like if you know position of them, you can always move them a bit in 3D, but try to move them in 2D. Like I tend to um apply all my doors and windows in 2D. Then like if I have to make them higher or resize them, then I can still do it in 2D, or then I will just do it simply in 3D. But I always try to space out all of them in 2D. If I know where they are, I can use my guidelines and like draw everything out and then place my windows and doors. But when you're placing them in 2D, then they automatically, like the doors, they automatically snap on the floor area. Like the windows, they will be like a bit higher, but you can click on them, go to edit, and then change the position of the windows. So like the height from the floor up to the window sill. But yeah, try in 2D and see if that will continue to continue. If that will continue to happen, then try to contact our team through the chat box, or try to schedule a masterclass and we can like look more into that. Okay, so I think we can wrap the meeting, and we will see you again next week. The same time, of course. So you're welcome, Julie. You're all welcome. Thank you. Thanks, guys, and have a lovely day. Thanks.